Hello, creative friends. My name is Sierra Chuang, and I'm so glad that you are joining me in this color along video today. Well, this page that I'm coloring is from my Between Stars coloring pack, available on my website. If you're wondering where you can get it from, I printed it out on craft paper, about 100 GSM, and I'm using Prisma color pencils. For anyone that doesn't know me yet, I'm a full-time fantasy illustrator. I mainly do line art and digital art. And just about 1 or 2 years ago, I got into the world of adult coloring. This video is to respond to some requests from a few of you that asked if I could share a whole process color along video. So in this video today, I will show you how I use color pencil on this page. It's not in real time, as color pencil do take ages, as we all know. There will be some time-lapse sessions of the video as well. Something I learned about coloring on tone paper or craft paper is that I love using white pencil on it. It's a must for me these days. It really made the page so much more vibrant. And as we are coloring together today, I thought it would be nice to chat about two myths of art and creativity, and some ideas that completely change the way I think about making art. The myths that I'm going to mention today are not totally wrong, but I have found there's another way of looking at them that feels much more freeing for me. One of the things I loved about coloring is that it reminds me creativity doesn't always have to be about producing something extraordinary or beautiful. I mean, of course, we all like to create something beautiful. But creativity for me is simply about being curious, choosing colors, trying combinations, and enjoying the process. And the beauty is really a byproduct of the process. So, the first myth that I want to share today, or sometimes it's kind of like a common advice that we hear from others, is that once you found your own art style, you should stay with it. As many artists and illustrators, I had a long period of trying to find my unique style, my unique artistic voice. Now that I have been doing art for a while, I can see that this is more of a byproduct than an end goal. At the beginning of my art journey, I look around and try many different styles from the experienced artists that I admire and hope to find mine. I was frustrated to not being able to stick to one and develop it further. The frustration never really go away until one day I realized that, I do have a style now. It has been developed very, very slowly from all the years I tried different things in illustrations. Style evolves, so the idea of staying there forever is constraining to me. I think when I'm stuck in the philosophy or thinking too much, my brain can overcomplicate things. And art is really about the process. If I look at art simply as just showing up to create and following my curiosity, I could let my style grow naturally as my curiosity grows. And the thing is, I always gonna have a certain way to do things that alone will make my creations unique. So these days, if I feel like trying a bolder palette in coloring, I will. If I'm curious about a different medium, I will give it a try. I might not like it, or I might create something quite clumsily looking, but I need to try to know myself. So printing pages out on craft paper is one of those for me recently. I've seen others done it on Pinterest, maybe last year. It took me a while to finally try it for the first time about 2 months ago. And craft paper works wonderfully with Prismacolor pencils. I have tried polychromos pencil on it and also my Ohuhu pencil on it, but I feel like for me, Prismacolor pencil works the best on craft paper. And definitely not with alcohol markers. I try to base the page with alcohol markers as well to see if I can fasten the process a little bit. I tried it last month and it didn't work. It didn't blend. At least I knew now and I never had to wonder about that anymore. One other thing about color pencils on craft paper or any tone paper is that I must use white pencil on the light part. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it made the highlight really stand out. I also base white pencil before other colors on the light parts as well, as you can see in the video, because it brings out the vibrancy beautifully. So I had compared it with or without the white pencil as the base. The vibrancy really being brought out a lot more when I did have the white pencil as the first layer. And then the second common myth is that becoming more experienced means making fewer mistakes. When I was hosting art workshops and classes, some people share with me that the idea of making art stressed them out big time. And honestly, I'm not surprised at all to hear that. Even I never really experienced that myself. I understand it. Not exactly the same scenario with them. I'm quite relaxed when I draw or color. That's why I love it so much. And I started doing it when I was a very small little kid. But that relaxation can turn into a panic or stress these days if I think I'm ruining my work. And funny enough, for me, I have the opposite kind of problem with some other people if they are beginning to make art or maybe they haven't made art but they think it's stressful. For me, the more my skill develop, the more I have a certain expectation to myself. And sometimes if I rush to finish something and wanted it to be really good, that can put me in the panic mode when something not going right or not going the way I want or turn out unexpectedly not very delightful. Sometimes when I keep trying to fix things when being in my panic mode, I could make even more mistakes. But often when I can calm my nerves by just taking a break and coming back to the work later, I could develop it to a different direction, letting go of the original idea or plan and totally just trust the process. This is when my creativity is at its best, I think. So this myth of becoming more experienced means making fewer mistakes can be true in a sense with some technical skills. So it's really, it makes a lot of sense. We will improve and get better at using our tools and we managing certain risk about a certain tool a lot better. And with experience, we have a certain confidence in us that we could still complete the artwork or fix it too. So the more experience we have, the more felt experience, like first-hand experience and confidence, it adds to our confidence that, yeah, we have done this before, we made another mistake or maybe even the same mistake before, and we could still develop the artwork to a direction that we're happy with. However, I think that being creative doesn't have to be just about avoiding or limiting mistakes. Being creative and making art, in my opinion, is about making mistakes, a lot of them. And with experience, we learn to navigate the next step from a previous mistake. And that is how a whole artwork comes together one step at a time. And definitely we have to learn to let go, and we will, experience or learning or practicing to trust the process more, trust the unexpected, and knowing that, with our practice and experience over time, it's going to be all right. And the more valuable thing is the learning that we get to adopt along the way. So I think that more mistakes means more new experiments and more refinements. For experienced artists, what they see as mistakes might not be to beginner artists at all. And maybe for other folks that don't do art very much, they can't even see it. So the idea of mistakes in art itself is already not finite. It depends on our level of experience and our level of perfectionism. My approach to art is to always refine my crafts and upskill myself, but at a moderate level of perfectionism. Most of the artists that I look up to are the one that really, really successful, like crazily successful, are somewhat all perfectionist. I love their art. I love their work, just like the work of Ghibli Studio, the animation studio. However, when I read about their life, when I look at the whole story of their life, and a big part of it is very, very miserable because of the perfectionism, the level of perfectionism that they have in themselves. And I don't think I want to be that. So I want to practice to be a happy and relaxed artist in my own definition. So it means that I'm probably not going to be very extreme in the way that I'm practice art. And I'm okay with that. So, other perfectionists can see that is a huge sacrifice for the craft. But I think that will be a middle way of the way that I like to navigate life, because I want to be able to keep enjoying art, being relaxed, and, living a content life. And I hope that my creations will flourish from the life that I'm living. When we admire the work of Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci today, we usually see the finished masterpiece. We don't see the notebooks full of studies, experiments, observations, or half-finished ideas that came first. We don't see how it could take them months or years, sometimes getting frustrated and walking away from the work and then coming back to it later. I think we can all be afraid of trying something new or ruining our work. That is just us being human. And there's always going to be the risk of us ruining our work by accident or by being a little bit too risky. But there's also going to be the satisfying possibility of transcending our skills. And certainly, there's a joy of creating and following our curiosity without attaching too much to the result. I think coloring gives us a lovely opportunity to have that free spirit. That's what I love about coloring. I'm mainly coloring in my own light works. But I can imagine when you're coloring in someone else that already create light work for you, you feel like you adding on to the page. There is an amount of freedom and a bit less kind of like expectation, perhaps. I'm not sure if it's the right word, but I feel like when it become a collaboration, is taking away a certain layer of too much of attachment and identification to the work itself, and it actually really healthy that way. Even though I don't have enough time to color in other artists' book, so I only do my illustration. But I did that too. I love Kirby Roseanne's, and when I filling in the space with my color, even I didn't create the illustration, I feel the magic in the collaboration, and I want to do a justice to his beautiful illustrations. And that's a lovely feeling and also very freeing. That I don't have to totally identify myself with the creation. And after all, every page is an invitation to experiment. And we can always do the same page again too if we want to. So that's also another beauty of it, of this hobby. Maybe today's page becomes our favorite. Maybe it simply teaches us that one particular color combination isn't really working. But we move on anyway. We just keep coloring page after page after page, and our skill will develop along the way. And also every now and then, if we try different tool, try different technique, we definitely will adopt it and develop it even more. So every page adds something to our experience, and that's what I love about it. I started this adult coloring journey 1 or 2 years ago. I can't remember the exact date. So before that, I did a little bit around 2019, 2020 during the lockdown when I first published my yoga coloring book. But back in the day, I was really naive about the other adult coloring world. I don't really know much, anything apart from knowing that there's beautiful book like Johanna Bestford's book that exist. And I create my first coloring book, the Yoga Girls coloring book, without even ever got into the adult coloring myself, because that book for me was more like a workbook for the yoga practitioners and yoga teachers to learn about the chakra. So that was my book was about, is more about a little bit more educational. It's about the chakras in yoga. And that also the reason that book was really wasn't intentionally designed for coloring. I had way too much details in it, and it's so small, so fine that is some people would tell me that it can frustrate them because it's just too small. Especially the people doing yoga, they're not necessarily like the people that enjoy coloring. But when I started to really get into adult coloring about 1 or 2 years ago, and just keep going one page at a time, now looking back, my skill is really being upgraded. And it wasn't even the intention from the beginning to upgrade my skill or whatever. I just want to color, and I just have so much fun out of it. It's different to my full-time work being an illustrator. So when I'm doing my illustrations, it's mainly light works. So it's usually black and white. And whenever I take commission for other people, it's usually digital art. And with digital art, I can go back, I can erase things. It's a little bit different. I wouldn't say that it's easier or harder or anything, but it's really different. And I can't believe that when I'm looking back now to the first page that I done 2 years ago with Prismacolor. Oh my God, it's totally different. And I can see, when I look at it, I can see my whole journey from that time until now. And it's so much fun because the intention wasn't about even become better at coloring. It was just about enjoying it and every now and then learning new technique from the people that I follow on Instagram or YouTube. So it was really a fun journey. I can't remember why I started to share about this and where I was wanting to go. However, I just want to share that I love the adult coloring community so much. I feel like it's such a amazing hobby, and it's really just a lot of pure positivity everywhere. Like there's a lot less judgment, a lot less critical opinions because it's not about skill or level of art or anything. Yeah, of course, we really love and admire and adore beautiful art, beautiful coloring pages. However, the love that share around with any one page, regardless of the level or the skill, is amazing. And it really exists. It's in the core of this community. And it's something that is really, really beautiful. And the fun other byproduct things is that not only that my color pencil skill or my alcohol marker skill got a big time upgraded, but also everything else is become a muscle memory, like color theory. And when I come back and do my full-time job every day of illustrating digitally, that skill of mine is also upgraded because it's still in the scope of in the work of art. So that was really fun to look back, and I'm just so grateful for the journey when fun and joy and curiosity and exploring and experimenting is in the central of it all. And then I harvested so many other things along the way, like great friendships in the community, skills upgraded, eyes for beauties, like the way I'm looking at things, like eyes for details, for attention. Everything is upgraded really. But also another thing is the generosity for myself to allow myself to experiment, to go soft on myself in terms of making mistake, trying new thing, fear of ruining artworks is also upgraded because I'm reminded every day that it need to also be fun and joyful. All thanks to this hobby of coloring. And I'm so curious to know what your experience with coloring, and is there any kind of like, maybe the benefit is the work, but anything that maybe the byproduct, like anything that you realize, you maybe didn't intend to make that a goal or intention. However, is a byproduct of your journey with coloring. I know that many of you have been doing adult coloring for a lot longer than me. Like some people are like 10 years, 15 years. I'm still a newbie in this community, in this thing. Even I'm doing art for as long as I'm alive. But the majority of it is digital art. And I'm just curious to know what you got to share about what coloring has bring to you in your life. Just let me know. And we are coming to an end of this coloring page today. I'm doing this cloud. Well, not completely finished yet, because in real time, this one was taking me almost 2 hours with these clown. And again, I'm basing the page, a lot of it, with my white pencil to really bring out the vibrancy of my Prismacolor pencil. I don't really own a big set of Prismacolor, just a small set, and then every now and then, if I want to try any new color, I just go and buy that individual color to add to my collection. So I didn't really have the full set, or however how many that is, I don't really know. And I just love Prismacolor so much. It's the most vibrant and creamy color that color pencil that I have. I want to try some other brand as well, but I'm not sure which one would be as similar to Prismacolor, because the way Polychromos pencil function is really different. And I'd only have 3 sets of pencil, which is Prisma, Polychromo, and Ohuhu. So I would love to know your experience, because many of you do a lot more pencil coloring than me. I'm mainly doing alcohol markers. So this is one of the rare pages that I use pencil. I probably do 1 or 2 pages per month with pencil, and the rest of the month I'm just using alcohol markers, because my book, Amazon printed paper, and it's work a lot better with alcohol markers. And I love both alcohol markers and pencil. I'm just a little bit more experienced with alcohol markers. But yeah, let me know what other the brands of pencil that you love using, or what do you feel like is the most similar to Prismacolor, since many of you have a lot more experience than me. And in New Zealand, the option is a bit limited. We are a little bit far away from the rest of the world, so the supply here is a bit smaller. If I want to get something, I need to order overseas, so it's not that convenient. The real time I color this page is about 6 hours, spreading over 2 days. And I often cannot multitask when coloring. I can't really talk when I'm focusing, like my brain just stopped. I can only do one thing. So I usually record my voiceover separately and share the color along video this way. And I think it's worked out for me well to be able to be productive enough to release some more color along, as quite a few of you have asked. So this one will be the first part of coloring this page, and then I will complete it and share the second part of coloring this page. It'll be fun to work on the boat, the wing. That'd be really fun to do that too. And then I'm planning to work a bit more on sharing color along video of alcohol markers on my Amazon printed book. So that will be some intention and some plan put in place for upcoming videos for the rest of the years. I will try to do more color along and share with you some of the tips, my personal tips on using color pencil, especially Prismacolor pencil. Keep the tip sharp to be able to layer and add more layer and blend colors better. And I feel like one of the things that is really needed to come along with Prismacolor pencil are their own sharpener, the Prismacolor sharpener, because you know that Prismacolor is so fragile, it breaks so easily. And when I use different kind of sharpener, even the good quality one, it still can break, and it's horrifying because I go through my pencil so quickly. So one of the things is having a good sharpener, and it's easier to maybe just get the Prismacolor brand one because they designed for that purpose. So that is the one tip for color pencil, and just taking time layering one over the other. So another one is being patient. I mean, many of you are probably a lot more experienced with color pencil than me, so you know that it takes so long. Sometimes I'm very impatient because I can do a page with alcohol markers so much faster. However, with alcohol markers, there's less control in terms of blending. So I almost have to blend the page a little bit better, and with experience, it can get better because I get familiar with my alcohol markers. And I have mentioned it in my video about what I learned from the 30-day challenge with alcohol markers. And with color pencil, there are more control over things because it's a lot slower. You just like color one stroke at a time. So that is the beauty of it. And we just have to go with the flow with however long it will take. Honestly, when I started color pencil, I was so frustrated because it takes so long. Prismacolor take a little bit less time, but my polychromos pencil, it take even longer. I don't think I really learned the best way to use polychromos pencil yet, or maybe I didn't use it on the right paper. It clearly don't work as well on this craft paper that I have compared to Prismacolor. For some reason, it came out really pale as the vibrancy doesn't really come out. Even I'm trying to base it with white pencil. Or perhaps it would just need to take a lot more time and I would just have to be a lot more patient with it. Maybe I'll have to give it a try and see how it goes, and then I'll let you know. Well, if you would like to color this page too, is available on my website at innerbeautybySierra.com. And thank you so much for coloring with me today. Until next time, happy coloring.